Now, in order to this, their conviction of sin and of their ruined condition was absolutely necessary, since they never would have recourse to mercy if they did not feel compelled to confess themselves condemned. It is with this view that he here proceeds to strip the Jews, as he had done the Gentiles, of all excuse. For wherein thou judgest, thou condemnest thyself. Wherein, that is, in the thing in which thou condemnest another, thou condemnest thyself. Dr. McKnight translates it whilst. But though the words in the original thus translated often in certain situations bear this signification, here this cannot be the case. When there is nothing in the context to fix the reference, the most general substantive must be chosen. There is nothing in the context to suggest the idea of time, and thing is a more general idea. It is indeed true that the self-condemnation of the Jew is contemporaneous with his condemnation of the Gentile, but it is so because this is implied in the very thing that is alleged, and the thing alleged is more important than the time in which it occurs. Nothing, then, is gained by thus deviating from the common version. The translation "because that," which is suggested by Professors Tholick and Stewart as a possible meaning, is also to be rejected. To suggest a great variety of possible meanings has the worst tendency. Instead of serving the truth, it essentially injures it. Besides, as has been remarked, the cause of the condemnation of the Jew was not his judging the Gentiles. The cause of his condemnation was his doing the things which he condemned. The reasoning of the apostle is clear and convincing. It consists of three particulars on which the Jew had nothing to object, namely, first, thou judgest another; second, thou doest the same things; third, thou condemnest thyself. Consequently, thou art without excuse. Thou judgest another, that is to say, thou holdest the Gentiles to be criminal and guilty before God. Thou regardest them as a people whom God has abandoned to themselves, and who, therefore, being plunged in vice and sin of all kinds, are the objects of his just vengeance. This is what the Jew could not deny. Thou doest the same things. This the apostle was to prove in the sequel. Thou condemnest thyself. The consequence is unavoidable, for the same evidence that convicts the Gentiles in the judgment of the Jew must, if found in him, also bring him in guilty. Verse 2, But we are sure that the judgment of God is according to truth against them which commit such things. Paul proceeds here to preclude a thought that might present itself and to stifle it, as it were, before its birth. It might be suggested that the judgment of God, that is, the sentence of condemnation with respect to transgressors, is not uniform, that he condemns some and acquits others as it pleases him, and therefore, although the Jew does the same things as the Gentile, it does not follow that he will be held equally culpable, God having extended indulgence to the one which he has not vouchsafed to the other. The Jew then does not hold himself guilty when he condemns the Gentile, although he does the same things. This is the odious and perverse imagination which the apostle here repels. We are sure, or more literally, we know. Who knows? Copy, says Mr. Tholick, quote, deems that there is here an allusion to the Jews, who boasted that they alone possessed the true knowledge, unquote. But this is palpably erroneous, because the Jews in general did not believe the thing asserted to be known. The apostle's object is to correct their error. Mr. Tholick himself is still farther astray when he understands it of, quote, those apprehensions of a divine judgment which are spread among all mankind, to which the apostle had alluded, chapter 1, verse 32, unquote. It was the apostle himself and those taught by the same Spirit who knew with unfaltering assurance the thing referred to, the judgment of God, that is, sentence of condemnation, not, as Dr. McKnight says, the curse of the law of Moses. The law of Moses and its curse are different from the sentence which God pronounces according to them, according to truth against them which commit such things.